Welcome, PAMIC member. We are going to be talking today about the PAMIC Law, Human Resource, and Cyber Center. We are a third-party provider of this services. Our company is Inquiron, and we've been working with PAMIC for 3 years to provide these services to PAMIC members. What we're going to do today is take you a little bit through why these services are being provided, what's included, and then a little bit of how to use them as well. I'm going to open up a demo site and show you a little bit more about how these services function. We're going to try to keep the session a little bit shorter today so that you have the ability to get a sneak preview into the value that's included. And we have certainly member services folks standing by to be able to answer your questions thereafter. If you are a new member, you will also receive outreach from our member services folks to walk you through the value and how you can take most advantage of them. So as I said, we've been working together for 3 years. And we understand, Inquiron's been around, this is our 23rd year of doing these type of things, providing risk management, compliance-related services to employers across the country. We have a lot of experience within supporting insurance carriers and those type of members through PAMIC, and we understand that employers are facing a lot of different challenges out in the market. And some of the things noted here in how our services can impact employers is we certainly understand that time is tight. You know, we have a lot of different competing priorities, and HR and cyber issues can really kind of derail a lot of the things that businesses and organizations are trying to do from the standpoint of creating value for their employees and for their clients and creating profits. And so giving the opportunity to employers to have resources that can help them from an HR standpoint and a cyber standpoint, knowing that time is tight and budgets are certainly tight as well, and that regulations are always changing is a really helpful benefit to being a PAMIC member. The regulations, as I'm saying, are always changing. And so with regard to HR issues, there's things that come down federally. There are things that are regulated at the state level as well. And so employers need to be aware of these things so that they're not being tripped up by potential issues that could be costly for them. Cyber is, of course, a very rapidly changing and dynamic field where breaches and other defense mechanisms are really important to be aware of and understand how to use those things. And so what we've created with PAMIC here is the ability for you to have access to resources that are easy to use, fairly layman's terms type of resources, because we understand that not everybody is a cyber specialist. Even IT people that deal with computers are not necessarily cyber specialists either. Their job duties are really focused on technology, not necessarily cybersecurity. And so we wanted to make sure that these services were accessible for a wide range of professionals. And so we'll take you through what those are going to be. But the last point here is there traditionally has been limited options with regard to how to handle HR and cyber issues. Typically, it's either through a consultant or an attorney or some other expert, which can be really costly. And so PAMIC recognized that these issues that are shown on the screen here, coupled with the fact that they want to do more for their members, gave a real opportunity to deliver something that is of value, easy to use, and can really deliver some quantifiable results for each member organization. And so those limited options are no longer your only option. And by working with Inquiron and providing these services to members, PAMIC has really taken the stance that they want to do more. And so what all is included, I've touched on it a little bit, but basically what we want to go through today, as I open up the website, is a description of the high-level areas. So we've got 3 main areas that are included: advice and tools and resources, and split along the lines of HR and employment law, and then cyber and privacy. And so the ability to speak directly with, say, employment law attorneys and ask questions regarding your specific HR and employment law issues is included, as well as the ability to speak with cyber experts about your cyber needs as well. We have the ability for you to take online training courses, and we'll cover in particular the Institute's courses that are available through the website, but there are also sexual harassment prevention courses and other valuable pieces that you would most likely need to pay an outside vendor for. They're all included and available through the site. So here's just a sneak preview on what's included in the service. I'm going to get out of this short PowerPoint and open up the website as well. And so now what you see on the screen is, as you have logged into the site, you have access to two main areas of the service, as I was talking about, the HR and the cyber. So I touched on advice, solutions is where we house our tools, and then the resources section. You do have the ability to customize the site a little bit for your preferences. So you can select the states in which you operate, you can select the topics that you're most interested in, and those will be reflected on this Your Content page. So you do have the ability to show or to find some things that are going to be most important to you. And so here, for example, we've selected Pennsylvania as a way to see what's new in Pennsylvania. The site does show some trending topics. So this is based on what other users of the service have been doing. The recommended for you, the recommended for you is based on the activities that you have taken. And then the what are you doing today section. We'll come back to this, but this gives you a really nice, easy access to the content that we've got on the site. And we've been able to curate to be able to, for you to find things that you're most interested in, and the activities that people take on a regular basis, and easy access to the content. So we'll come back to that in a moment. But just jumping back to the home page, as you arrive here, you're going to see a few different pieces. Certainly, we always will have announcements about the upcoming webinars that we host live on a regular basis, usually monthly. We record them and post them to the site as well. If you are an HR person and you're looking for continuing education credits, most of our sessions are HRCI certified, which means that you can receive 1 hour of continuing education credit by attending those webinars. We also highlight the latest content that is available in both the HR and the cyber side. We have these user polls over on the side as well, to keep people engaged a little bit into what other employers are using the service for and what they're using the service for, and information about them as employer. So, and then you notice these couple of boxes up at the top here as well. Every so often we roll out a new tool. Here we've got a new tool that's both for the sexual harassment prevention training. So this gives a state-by-state look into what the requirements are by state. And we also have one that's available for cyber breach notification regulations as well. So each state has their own regulation. So we've created these various tools for you to easily be able to identify what you'll need, particularly in Pennsylvania, for example. And the PAMIC Institute's training courses are available as well, and these are really great value. The heavily discounted rate available for you to be able to use on an hourly basis all of the courses that are available in our training section. So we'll show that in a moment as well. So all of this is just a sneak preview on this homepage of what's available, and then you can start to dig into different sections. I do want to point one other thing out on this homepage, because I did mention kind of the layman's terms of the way that the cyber tool works. We've got this cyber assessment, and this is a great place to start. So if you have the ability to come to this site and take a look at these questions, what you'll be able to do is identify the type of organization that you are, how many employees that you have, the types of files that you have on record, and those type of things. So very basic type of questions. And we kept this assessment short and sweet. It's not a lengthy audit that you need to fill out or anything like that, but you fill out these 15 questions, you click submit, and then you'll be able to see the results of that assessment and where your risks are, and it'll point you to the various pieces of content and tools that we have available through the site to help you along those lines. So I'll click over here to this Cyber Essential area, and you can see some of the pieces that we have available for you. So for example, if you don't have an incident response plan, you can build one directly through here, a customizable incident response plan. And this is really important for not only when something does occur as an incident, but also what you can do to prepare ahead of time. And so this allows you to build one of those and have one in place, and take you through the questions that you need to ask yourselves as employers to make sure that you've got the plan that you're looking for. We have cyber training courses available. We have webinars that we host live again and that we record and post to the site. And this is a cool tool as well, this phishing security testing. So this gives you the ability to basically test your employees, send them emails that have fake links in there that could potentially damage an employer's integrity, from a cyber standpoint or privacy standpoint, and it gives a first round view as to who's clicking on those emails, and it gives you a nice baseline to do some additional training within your organization on not clicking those links in emails that might be coming from an outside agent. I mentioned the state-by-state regulation tool. So this is available through the site as well, and you can see those regulations by Pennsylvania and what is required when a breach does occur. So a lot of different tools in here, and again, this will be shown as the things that are available that can help you after you complete that assessment. Of course, you can access them through here without the assessment, but the combination of the two really drives the ability to find the right tools on what you need for your organization, as well as the content that's available through this site as well. And so we have these sections over here on the left-hand side of the menu to be able to show you some basic information. What are you doing today? I'm trying to understand the fundamentals of cybersecurity, a good place to start. And we've got a few different pieces of content that can help you there, and then gives you the ability to move on from there. Phishing, for example, I need to train my employees. Here's some information about that you can use within our that phishing testing tool. So that's a sneak preview, a little bit about what's included on the cyber side, starting with the assessment, various resources available, and various tools available, and it's going to mirror similarly on the HR side as well. So for example, if I go to the Solutions tab again and show you the HR and employment law side of things, so this gives you the same type of rundown. So we've got state-by-state regulations, online training, on-demand webinars and podcasts. This What Are You Doing Today section is a great starting point to find the content that's available through the site for all of these different topics that are regularly needing to be done by whoever is handling HR. So for example, termination. I need to terminate an employee involuntarily today. Never an easy situation, but what we want to do is give you the information that you need to be able to handle that scenario in as easily as a way as possible, and in as compliant a way as possible as well. And so you see some of the content that's been tagged for that particular action that you need to take. We've got a checklist, a sample letter, what the information about what the difference is between termination and a layoff, and a bunch of other info as well. And so these are the type of things that you can find in here. We've got all of these different topics over here on the left-hand side, and that can help you with an understanding of I need to hire somebody, and questions not to ask, and things along those lines. So this gives you a nice intro into the content that's available. One of the most valuable pieces certainly is the ability to ask questions of our attorneys. So all of these different topics, excuse me, you're using the content, you're using the tools, but then you say, you know, what does this mean to me? I just have a question. I want to make sure that I'm doing things correctly, or I've got a specific scenario that is happening within our organization. What does this mean to me? And I'll blow this screen up a little bit as well so you can see these topics. But all of these different areas are issues that our attorneys can help you with as an employer. So the big ones for us, we get a lot of questions about termination, hiring, FMLA, ADA, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act, discrimination. All of these different topics are complicated issues, but we also get a lot of simple questions. How long do I need to keep personnel files on hand, for example? And so all of these different topics that you see you can ask questions in an unlimited fashion. You've got two ways to ask your questions. You can either call toll-free or submit your question via the web. Either way, you're going to get a documented response from our attorneys no later than the end of the next business day. And so if you're thinking about from a quantifiable standpoint, if you're working with either in-house counsel who's bogged down with a lot of questions and can't get a response back quickly, or you're paying potentially outside counsel for their support, this is the ability to get answers no later than the end of the next business day, confidential, attorney-client privileged, and documented on all those different topics that I showed on the prior screen. You do have the ability as well to ask questions of the cyber expert, so it doesn't necessarily need to be an HR question, but it can be a cyber question, and you have that ability to talk to somebody there as well. It's not an attorney, but it's a cyber expert. And so all of these things work together. I'll show you the resources tab because we haven't touched on that. A lot of the content that was shown within the areas of the What Are You Doing Today section is going to be housed within this resources page. And so all of these different topics, hot topics that I mentioned prior, you can break out by topic here, or you can see the different resource types that we've got available. You can select your state to Pennsylvania, for example, and then you can select all of these different areas. We write our own content, so we publish articles and podcasts and things like that, but we also link out to other resources. So federal posters, state posters, things along those lines. So all of the different content is going to be valuable at your fingertips in one place to be able to find nice and easy. I want to jump back to the Solutions tab one more time for a couple of different things. The Aea Compliance section here, which is a cool little addition. So in addition to HR, in addition to cyber, we know that one of the things that employers are facing is wanting to make sure that their own website is compliant with ADA regulations. It used to be where there were ADA regulations only for physical structures, making sure that there are wheelchair ramps and things like that. But we have noticed that over the past few years, there's been an increase in number of lawsuits and claims and things along those lines against websites, making sure that they are available for people with disabilities to be able to view and to hear and things along those lines. So we've got the ability for you to take a look at your site through a compliance checklist and to do a check using this accessibility tool. So it's a nice way for you to get a baseline understanding of how your website will operate within those regulations. And then the final thing I wanted to jump back to was, I mentioned it earlier, but the Institute's training. So all of the training courses that are available through this site are used through an LMS system, a learning management system, and this is a really cool tool. I'm going to pull up the list of the available courses here. All of these courses can be deployed to your staff. So Inquiron has these courses available, and then PAMIC has arranged for additional Institute's courses to be available as well. So I'll just scroll down a little bit and you can see all the different titles that are available. So a lot of courses, I think there's, I forget, close to 50 or 60 courses available in here. And the heavily discounted rate, I think it's $10 per learning hour, which is a great deal available through PAMIC that they've arranged. And you can take all of these courses through the learning management system that's available through the website here. So very easy to use and deploy to your staff, and complements these other available training courses that we have through this website as well. And so that's a sneak preview as to what's available through the site. I'll just jump back here to the home page and just kind of recap everything. So cyber tools, starting with the assessment and giving you your view of what your current cyber risk looks like, and some tools and content to be able to use to get ahead of those issues. The HR side of things has advice, tools, and resources as well for you to be able to use. And one thing that we're going to do as a new PAMIC member is call you personally and walk you through what these services are. A member services team is there to answer questions. The toll-free number to contact them directly if you have questions is 877-568-6655. That is available between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. East Coast time to make sure that we can answer your questions live. But again, we'll be doing some proactive outreach to you as well to make sure that we know who the users are at your organization, make sure you have your access codes, and for you to make sure you know how to take full advantage of all these tools and value made available through PAMIC. So thank you for joining today. We are glad that you're here. We really value the ability to help employers and want you to take the most advantage that you can.